Hey guys, today we're gonna correct one of the videos that I recently made regarding the Blau stand. Now that video is currently down because my conclusion was quite erroneous, but I do want to address it for those of you who have seen the video, and for those of you who haven't, let me make a quick resume of what I said in that video. So the main topic was the Blau aquarium stand and the quote-unquote problem that I had with it. Due to its dimensions, it was forcing me to have an overhang of my tank of about 2 centimeters. Obviously, it could be 1 centimeter in the back, 1 centimeter in the front, or a full 2 centimeters in the front or in the back. Anyway, in that video, I said that that is a major no-no and a risk. Now, the reason why I said that was because that was one of the core beliefs or things that we used to believe like 20 years ago or something, when I was actually in the business of selling these products. I didn't make them myself, but I worked in an aquarium store and was also very involved in the community. So back then, that is hardcore what we believed. But 20 years is a lot of time in which information gets updated, we debunk myths. I love debunking myths. And one of the comments on my video was saying that, hey, you know what? Some companies actually do have stands with intentional overhangs. Wow, okay, that's new. So obviously, if some brands are purposely doing it, I'm surely missing something, right? Okay, so I got to a little bit of research. So it does appear that some companies do produce stands with intentional overhangs. It appears to be a stylistic choice. We're gonna get to that later, but the example that I will show you today is the Red Sea stand and aquarium. Sadly, I cannot go to the pet shop and actually film it because I don't know if we have this company available in my country. I have not seen it in my area, at least. So I'm just gonna show you what I found on the internet, and the picture is there. I'm gonna link you to the forum conversation that I found. If you research overhang in aquariums, you will indeed find a lot of people worried about this overhang. Again, because the classic belief was that the entire surface of an aquarium needs to be supported. As far as my understanding goes, it is actually okay to have a little bit of an overhang because the forces inside the aquarium are pushing downwards and outwards pretty much. So yes, there is a shift, there is a little bit of a difference when we have overhangs in our aquariums, but apparently it doesn't really make much of a difference. It's certainly not as risky as I thought it was. Now, initially, I thought maybe these companies are reinforcing their aquariums differently, but from the pictures that I see, and again, this is just anecdotal because I don't have the thing in front of me, just what I see in pictures. So from the pictures, I see that they are normal aquariums. They're not built differently to reinforce anything. So typically, aquariums are built kind of like this. We have a bottom panel and a front panel, let's say, that doesn't actually sit on the bottom panel. It's glued with silicone. So when we have it set like this, we are actually supporting the entire weight of this aquarium, including the weight of the glass and everything it has inside. If we would have an overhang, the difference would be that the weight of the front panel would not be supported obviously anymore, but it would still hold due to the silicone. Now, silicone is very strong. If the aquarium has a good silicone job, it shouldn't be a problem. The silicone will hold. And also in that 2 centimeter strip that we have here, the bottom panel should, in theory at least, hold the amount of weight that we have in that 2 centimeter strip. So that was the only concern, and that's pretty much the only thing that changes. And again, as I research, it is in theory pretty safe. I cannot say with 100% accuracy because I'm not a physicist, but it should be safe. Is it safer than having an aquarium not overhang? I really don't know. I really don't know what the risk is. Maybe it's so marginal it doesn't even matter. And if you guys have further input on this, let me know down below in the comments, obviously, so that we can all better learn and understand. Now, about the stylistic choice. So what I see being said a lot in discussions is that this choice refers to how flush the doors sit, meaning that having an overhang, which you don't see because I applied that wood panel last time to actually sit the aquarium on something. If I wouldn't have this wood panel, pretty much the tank would be flush with the doors. It would overhang, let's say, on top of the doors. It would not touch the doors, but it would be flush with the doors. And that's how people explain the stylistic choice of having overhangs. I will have to say I find it slightly weird because in my days, what we used to do was, I don't know if you can see, let me get you in closer. So you see the top panel here? This is the actual top panel of the stand, not this. Now this ends here on this, let's say, pillar. Back in the day, what we used to do was make this pillar shorter and have the top panel sit on top of it. And what we would do is to create this side panel of the stand a little narrower. So just like this, having a slight overhang or creating a slight overhang, but it wouldn't have been an overhang because this top panel would extend on top of this pillar like this and also in the front. And also the doors, we would make the doors fit under the top panel. So when you would close the door, they would fit snugly under the front panel, and that would create a super flush aspect, which I think looks better than having a little bit of an overhang and a little bit of a space here. And the way that we did these stands back in the day would mediate the whole being flush with the doors situation. So that's why I find it a little weird, but again, this is a style that it's not right or wrong, it is based on preference, right? It's just a style. So, bottom line, I stand corrected. The blouse stand, maybe, I think now that it has been purposely made shorter or narrower than the width of my tank to have that stylistic effect, to have that overhang, which in a discussion from 2018 or so, I see is described as a new trend in stands and aquariums. So that is brand new information for me, and it was important to correct it because, yeah, I don't want to give you false information. If you still have doubts, obviously, best thing to do is to contact the company and ask them yourself. Is it anxiety inducing? Yeah, it is for me a little bit. I don't think I'm gonna have overhangs. Not only because I'm just not used to it, but, and there is a but to this story, one thing I want to point out is that my tank, the Blau 80-liter tank that I have here, has rounded edges. See? No silicone seam. Now, one of my big pet peeves was always to see excessive silicone on the seams. So the rounded edge aquariums were always appealing to me. Nowadays, though, the silicone work is so incredibly good that you do not see it. Hey, hello boy, do you want some food? Do you want bloodworms today? Okay, after this video, I'm gonna feed him. So yeah, I'm starting to really prefer this style more. But as I was saying, when we have an overhang, what happens is the weight of the front panel, which I think in the case of these tanks is about 2 kilos. It's not a whole lot, it's a little, but the silicone should hold it. Now, in the case of a round edge aquarium, there's no silicone here to hold the front panel. So there will be, in my opinion, some different forces acting on this seam, right? Yeah, well, maybe this is not an issue yet again. I haven't actually found discussions on the internet with overhangs in the case of rounded edge aquariums, so I cannot really say how safe it is. It probably is safe to have an overhang on this type of tank as well, but it just so happens that I already have a tank that has a crack. A rounded edge tank that has a crack in the round edge. Now, this did not happen while the tank was just sitting around. It actually happened during a repair. I chipped a little bit the back panel, which is removable. I gave the aquarium to be fixed. The people fixed the back panel, and I picked it up when it was full of water during a leak test. And it looked okay in the dim light, but when I got it home, I saw the crack and I didn't bang it on anything. Initially the crack was smaller, now it's larger because I'm holding this tank outside. I don't know what to do with it, so because of the elements and the heat and everything, the glass cracked all the way. But initially it was a crack of this size. And because I did take care to transport it safely on the front seat with the seat belt, and because the guys assured me this was not here when they glued the back panel, I don't really know when this happened. Maybe it happened during the leak test when the aquarium was not placed on a very large surface. It was a sort of a makeshift little stand. I wish I could tell you how much overhang it had or if it had any, but I really don't remember. However, yeah, I have a cracked round edge aquarium and I'm not entirely sure how it happened, but what I can deduct is that this edge is a little bit of a weakness in the wrong situations. Will an overhang on a rounded edge aquarium pose a lot of force on the edge? I don't know. I really don't. Probably not as much as I think, but being that I have that cracked aquarium there staring at me, no, I'm not comfortable to have an overhang on this particular tank. And generally speaking, because you know, when you're super used to someone, you grow up with a certain, let's say, risk assessment, it's a little harder to progress. Inevitably, we all need to progress. Reason why I'm making this video to correct what I said. But it gives me the heebie-jeebies, to be fully honest. Does it give you? And also, do you know, is this more risky to have with an overhang than a normal, let's say, rectangular shaped aquarium without rounded edges, is what I mean? Because, oh boy, that cracked aquarium there on my terrace, yeah, it doesn't make me confident at all in having overhangs. So personally, I don't like the overhang situation, not even stylistically, but I was wrong when I said it's a big no-no. It used to be 20 years ago, but it's not 20 years ago anymore. Oh shoot, I'm old. So it's perfectly fine, and some companies apparently do indeed include the overhang as a feature. If you like it, great. If you don't, there are a lot of stands that don't have that feature. They have a full panel under the tank. And when it comes to the rounded edge aquariums, I don't know. I don't know if the same applies as a normal edged aquarium. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm still a little nervous to remove this plank of wood that I put here. So I'm just gonna use it for now, just in case. And yeah, that is about it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry about my initial video with the wrong information. Hopefully you guys get to see this. And yeah, if you still have questions, I guess the best thing to do is to contact the company and ask them about the safety risks, if there are any. So with that said, Happy New Year! I'm filming this in the new year. Hope you guys had a great time during New Year's Eve, and yeah, hope you have a great year ahead. Lots of new videos and projects on this channel scheduled soon, so stay tuned and subscribe for more videos. And with that said, I'll see y'all next time. Bye!